Welcome to the Diva Deets, the ultimate podcast for women over 40 who are ready to take control of their health, ditch the diets, and lose weight for good. I'm your host and coach, Danya Powers. And let's be honest, new leggings, new water bottle, you've got the new app, new challenge, motivation is high. And then life happens. And, whatever it is, the school drop off line takes forever. Your boss drops a deadline at 4:45. Your teenager eats the lunch you prepared for yourself. Don't ask me how I know that one. And suddenly your perfect plan is completely gone. You are left saying what so many women tell me that they are struggling with. I suck at this part. I thought I had it, but I'm just tired. I do fine until the weekend, and then it falls apart. Is that any bell ringing happening for you? Does that sound familiar? It's not you failing, it's what I would call a consistency crisis. We're going to talk about why most women quit right before their breakthrough and how you can finally stop that cycle. So here's what the cycle looks like, okay? You're on fire week 1. You've got your meal prep. You hit all your workouts. You're texting your friends. You're texting your coach. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. Week 2, still motivated, sore, a little tired. You miss a day here and there, but you're still going. You're still going. Week 3. Week 3 is the magic number. Stress hits. You had a sick kid that vomited all over the car. You had a crazy week. You had a fight with your spouse. You grabbed takeout. You missed 2 workouts. And week 3 is the one that will get you. Week 3 is the most inconsistent week in every single thing that I do. In my 6-week challenge, week 3 is the highest drop-off rate. We usually lose half of the challengers at week 3. And no matter how much I tell them if they will just hang in through week 4, they'll make it through. So many of them quit by week 3. Week 4, you step on the scale. It hasn't budged. What? And your brain says, see? You can't stick with anything. You always start over. And now you have this cycle. Does that sound familiar to you? You have to think about this kind of like motherhood, because it's the only thing that I could think of that was intrinsic. I'm not giving up on this, thing in our life. You don't throw in the towel when your kid rolls their eyes at you. You'd be like, well, I'm not momming you anymore. It's done with that. It's quite over. Yes. You don't quit when they leave their socks in the bathroom for the 900th time, even though you've asked them to please pick up their socks from the bathroom. You might sigh, you might yell a little bit, but you still show up the next day and you're still a mom. You don't throw them outside. You don't go to your husband and be like, nope, we're starting over. That's just not how it works. So you have to realize that with your health, one slip and you quit. Why is that so much more important? Because your kids are actually going to leave you eventually, and most of their life will happen without you. But you're going to let your health completely fail. You don't have that same drive where no matter what, you're not going to quit. Consistency is not about being perfect, and I think it's really important that you realize that. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's really just not. It's about showing up again and again and again, even when it's messy, even when it's not Instagram pretty. And that's why I had one of the biggest criticisms I've had on my Instagram from my business coaches is, you need to wear more makeup. You need to wear more makeup. And I do try to throw the makeup, because I have makeup on. Brian can attest, I'm wearing makeup today. But usually I'm sweaty during a workout. So I'm not really trying to think about, oh, I need to have the makeup on. I'm showing you that I'm working out, because I'm not trying to make it Instagram pretty. And that's just not how I roll. I want you to have a taste of what's real. How about we be real, right? Let's talk about what's happening in your body when you are being consistent, but you don't see results. We call that an adaptation lag. And I went into a lot more detail in my previous podcast episode if you want to go back and listen to that. But I want you to think about an adaptation lag like planting a garden. You water every day, you're pulling the weeds, and for weeks, it looks like nothing is happening. So what is happening under the ground? You have roots forming. Roots are happening all over your garden because you have set it up, you planted the right seeds, all those things are there. But This is exactly what your body is doing during the first weeks of consistency. It's repairing muscles, it's building muscles, it's calming stress hormones, it's recalibrating your metabolism, all under the surface of the soil. All under the surface, this is happening in your garden, and you can't see those roots. So your brain says, well, this isn't working. Even when you look at your garden, if anybody's gardened out there, I used to garden all the time. I do not garden anymore. But even when you look at your garden, you think, oh, the roses are so pretty, and there's just nothing. There's nothing. Like, I've picked every weed. Why isn't it growing? And a lot of people will quit. A lot of people will quit if you don't see the results. Um, think of like baking. Let's talk baking. A lot of my ladies are sourdoughers. They like to make the sourdough bread. I love sourdough bread. I like to make it too. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to open the oven, or you don't open the oven at 10 minutes and scream, why isn't this bread done yet? Because the sourdough, you have to, you preheat the oven with your Dutch oven, and then you put, one or two pieces of ice. You put your sourdough loaf in there with pastry paper, and then you put the lid on it. You cook it for 20 minutes. Then you take the lid off and you cook it for 20 minutes more. You're not opening the door at 10 minutes going, why are you not done yet, sourdough bread? You're trusting the process. Even if you can't see through the little window in your door, you're trusting the process that your bread is going to bake. And the heat is working, and it is baking, even if you can't see it and you can't see the process. So if you've been consistent for 3 weeks and the scale hasn't moved, don't quit. You're in the lag. You're in that adaptation lag. Your roots are growing. Your bread is baking, and the breakthrough is coming. It is coming. So how do you survive the lag without losing your mind? I think it's really important to have a really good grasp of this, or, forget losing your mind. But how do you survive without quitting? You build what I call anchor habits. We talk a lot about anchor habits in the Divas. And you think about when your house is a mess. Think about it. It's just messy everywhere. When you have somebody coming over, you're not going to deep clean every closet, but you might wipe down the countertops, pick up the floor, make your bed. Those little habits will keep the room from spiraling into chaos. Does that make sense? It's not a perfection game. You're not scrubbing the baseboards every single time. Your health is the same way. It's literally the same way. The anchor habits are the same way you would pick up a room, but they're really, really simple. They are the 4 pillars that the Divas live by. They are strength training 3 to 4 times a week. They are drinking 96 to 120 ounces of water, 128 ounces of water every single day. They are getting a minimum of 6,000 steps a day, and they are eating protein at every single meal, following their meal plan and getting all their macros in. These anchors are what keep you steady when life is chaotic. These anchors don't demand perfection. They demand that you be present. And it's really important that you remember that. And here's the magic. When you hit your anchors, you build trust with yourself. You stop being the woman who's always starting over. You become the woman who always finds a way, and you are the adaptation queen. That is what happens. So one of my clients was talking to me this week, and she said, I'm just tired, and I don't know if I can keep this up. And I told her, don't push harder. When you hit that point, don't push harder. Go back to your anchors and stay there. Because that's where consistency lives. Consistency doesn't live in the push. It lives in the repeat. Steps, water, protein, strength train. Steps, water, protein, strength train. 2 weeks later, she said, my pants are looser. My energy is better. And the scale finally moved. It's not magic. It's science. It's consistency through the messy, messy middle. It is making sure that you're maintaining your home. That's all it is. So let me ask you this. Where are you letting perfection stop you from staying consistent? Is it because you skipped your workout? You feel like you can't start again until next week? So I'll tell you about my week and skipping my workout. So Wednesday, I ended up needing to go to the doctor for something that needed to get checked out right away, which all turned out fine. But my coach even said, do not do your workout till you go get that checked out. So I didn't do my Wednesday workout. Wednesday's ZD day, so I played with little dude. And then I worked. Thursdays are insane. I literally work probably close to 10 or 12 hours on a Thursday. And then today is Friday while I record this podcast. Today, when I went to my workout, I actually scheduled my full hour and a half time. I don't normally work out for an hour and a half, but I give myself an hour and a half. So then in case I want to shoot some footage or get some of my batch content created for all of you to help you. And I went ahead and squeezed in Wednesday's workout because my coach had designed a new workout for me and he wanted some feedback. And so I squeezed in Wednesday's workout while I ate in between, rested for about 30 minutes, and then, or maybe even an hour. And then I did the next workout, which was holy crap. But had I been in perfection mode, that wouldn't have happened. And I wasn't trying to get all of the workouts perfect. And in fact, I let him know where I was like, I felt myself starting to get tired. So I did slower reps or less reps right here, but I did finish the workout. It's not about being perfect. You just have to figure out how you can stay consistent. Within that, what anchor habit could you hit today, even if everything else falls apart? What can you latch onto and make it a non-negotiable? And how would your story change if you decided, I don't quit in the lag? I am literally hanging in there. I'm going to work through the messy. Divas, I need you to hear me because most women quit right before their breakthrough. They stop watering the garden just before the sprout. They open the oven too soon and throw the bread away. Silly, right? But not you. You're not going to do that. You are learning to anchor yourself. You are building trust. You are becoming consistent, not perfect, but consistent. So the next time you want to quit, remember you're probably standing right on the edge of your next breakthrough. And I'm telling you this because I have to tell myself this. Danya, you can't quit right now. You're standing right on the edge of your breakthrough. Don't step back, step forward, or hold your ground. You don't want to give up right before a breakthrough. So I want to make sure that you guys know that you can reach out to me anytime if you just feel super stuck or you need some help with some anchor habits. You can find me on Instagram at Danya Powers EC, on Facebook at Danya Powers, or on TikTok at Danya Powers EC. You can also find me on YouTube, Empowered Coaching with Danya Powers. And you know what? Until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas.
Thanks for tuning into this latest episode of the Diva Deets. If this helped you and you found it valuable, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Ready for more support? Join my free Facebook community or join my coaching community. The details are in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas.